some of the cool
All right,
stuff.
there we go.
Andrew's team, we remix it. We add the UESC in. We make them real difficult on purpose. And then we also have the contracts team, which are the factions, the corporations that players are sort of doing deals with because they're mercenaries. And so,
There we go.
and that
Yeah.
gets a little bit down to sort of the mission.
Fix some capture stuff as well.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Stuff I
All right.
hopefully make everyone proud with.
Well, we'll get into that here very shortly, but no, thank you all for starters, all for being here. Before we get started as well, a quick reminder, do yourself a favor, make sure you've got your Bungie and your Twitch account linked to make sure you don't miss out on the Twitch drop that's going on right now. And if you also go ahead and subscribe to any channel in the Marathon directory, you can get a special little cat badge next to your name to go ahead and show everyone that you were here today. So
Yippee!
Go out there, find a streamer you haven't found before, and make sure and drop a sub out there and share the love. And also, if you have dropped your sub here on Marathon the Game, worry not, that money all goes to the Bungie Foundation, so thank you for helping us help them do some good out there. And now we have a big show again lined up. We've got some gameplay on the way coming up very shortly. We had a chance to go ahead and work with some creators and press very recently, and we're going to show you what they thought of the game.
There we go.
And of course, again, I'll repeat myself, but we've got something really great for you at the end of the show, so make sure and stick around. But again, the purpose of today is just to show off some gameplay. Joe Siegler, I'd love to hand the mic to you for this next part.
Yeah, so before we get started, obviously there's a lot to talk about today. We have a little bit of a taste to show you about what our game is about, just to kick us off, so we can put some images to what we've been talking about here. So
Okay.
let's take a look.
Finally. Okay. That definitely feels like Destiny.
The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now. Run.
Okay. That's a fucking Titan punch. That was like the exact same animation. Interesting. This game's style is really good. This game style is so good. I mean, for what little there was of that, it looked really good. I mean, there wasn't really much to it. It looks cool.
In addition to that, coming just later this month on April 23rd, we're going to be running a closed alpha test that you can be a part of. As a quick heads up, this is going to be focused on North America, 18 plus only. So there's going to be a big chance to play up front, but don't worry, there's going to be other opportunities to play later. So to make sure you're caught up with all the details,
Sort of a Valorant deal.
do yourself a favor, head over to our Discord at discord.gg/marathonthegame. And of course, if you're here in Twitch chat with us today, then you've already done yourself a big favor. Members of our community and moderation teams are going to be going out and looking for folks to drop codes to as well to make sure that you can get priority access when the alpha kicks off. So go ahead and keep an eye out on your inbox. There's no exclamation point drops or anything you need to do, though I'm sure folks will do it anyway. But worry not, you've gone ahead and done yourself a favor by being here today. But let's get into it. What did we just see?
A lot of death, you know, as first one.
Yeah, a lot.
But honestly, you saw a first glimpse of some of what's going on in Marathon, you know, our extraction shooter that we're creating over here. And it's got a little bit of everything. It's got some runners in there. It's got some weapons in there. It's got some crazy stuff happening. But
Yeah, a little taste of the weapons in there. You saw some alternate weapon actions. The flip scope is in there, so weapons are going to do more than just shoot, obviously. It's a Bungie game. We got to like really push things. Yeah, a lot of runner abilities are in there as well. The UESC, obviously a little taste of the UESC and what they're capable of. Yeah, a lot of awesome.
And some fun world interactions too. Like there's that sequence where the shutters go down and then everything goes wrong for the team that's in that room. But it's pretty cool to see those things.
Yeah, everything goes wrong. The Andy Salisbury story. Mr. Ziegler, so why are we making Marathon? Why is Bungie going into the extraction shooter space?
I mean, extraction
Yeah.
is like
Good question.
our passion of ours. Like, we really like the idea of like bringing this experience that we've all enjoyed, which is this kind of intense survival-based experience where you are frequently unsure of what's going to happen next, but you're on that adventurous ride of it. You know, we talk about it sort of like it's a horror story that's kind of unfolding before you. And testing yourself to see if you can survive it. And we really wanted to take that and sort of, I don't know, bring a lot more people into it. When you love something, you really kind of want to just,
Interesting.
attract others to it, and so you can have a bigger party with it. And so, yeah, we've been doing a lot of work to make that happen.
Yeah, no, it shows. And Lars, obviously, Bungie's got a long history of shooters, but this is a new type altogether for us to dive
Yeah.
into. From your side, what's it been like designing for all of this?
It's been fantastic. So when I started at Bungie, it was on the multiplayer team. And I am a competitive person in my nature. I really enjoy PvP.
Most people are.
And so having to take that in the Marathon game and think about every single angle of every design, knowing that there will be other human beings in, around, and on the other side of it has just been fascinating and really exhilarating for myself personally, and I also know
Cool.
for the team.
It's been really exciting to see. And obviously, you mentioned we saw a lot. We saw some runners. Mr. Witz, can you do me a favor and help introduce these 4 runners that are going to be available when the closed alpha test begins?
Yeah, for sure. We'll have 6 runners at launch, but we're focusing on the core 4 here for they're going to be in the alpha. So going left to right, we have Locust. Locust is our soldier kind of fantasy, our soldier kit, all about push forward gameplay, right? The first one in, trying to get as many picks as possible, right? Against either the UESC or other players. Next we have.
I'm so kind of lost on what the gameplay is of this game. What the core gameplay is.
And punishing poor positioning. Glitch is like our agile disruptor kind of kit, all about pushing forward, disrupting enemy teams and what they're doing, and getting out and kind of having that kind of cycle. Void is our stealth boy, our sneaky boy, all about throwing down smokes, going a full active camo cloak into the darkness, getting some reses, and then taking some people by surprise. So yeah, this is our core 4. Right.
Like I know it's an extraction shooter, but the way like the class system and the way they talk about it, it feels more like an arena shooter kind of thing.
Do yourself a favor and do so. But you've been sharing some
More than like
recently,
extraction. It's
out there on
interesting.
Everyone. Before the show, we were talking a little bit, and I've heard this come up a lot. But you guys have been working off of this concept of graphic realism. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what that means for the design here?
Yeah, it's one of our ingredients that we've sort of conjured up to help us define the visual world. For these runners, the first thing we wanted to make sure was their visual fantasy reflected the gameplay fantasy well. And then we sort of have our unique recipe of influences and inspirations for the reimagining of this world. And one of those sort of constraints we've created is this idea of graphic realism, where we kind of reduce the amount of geometry, we limit our materials, we use a lot of graphic design and color, and we sort of use it as a tool to onboard artists who are working on the project.
Okay.
And then it doesn't hurt to have a world-class concept team.
So take out the complexity of using different materials and instead allow it to show creativity through like color and actual design rather than texture. That's a cool way of thinking about it, and it shows very well. It's very cool.
It's amazing.
It's very good looking.
Art geeks out there, the sort of the father of the marathon visual world in a lot of ways is this guy Craig Mullins, who you see art represented on the left. Started out as a fan, then got incorporated into the IP officially by Bungie, and so his
That's awesome.
legacy looms
That is so cool.
large. And we've always tried to pay attention, pay homage, make sure we're doing justice. And you can see here in the center, this is kind of a proto runner we developed early in the process to make sure that our sort of approach to graphic realism and style lined up and sort of represented that. And then on the right here, sort of an evolution into one of our actual runners here, Blackbird, with a similar fantasy
Cool.
and composition. So I think it's
Very
working
cool.
well.
I like this new design.
New, but also sort of looking back.
It's like a three.
It gives us sort of an abstract look.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah.
Is this mine?
I don't know. It could be.
Excellent. Well, that said, if anyone out there in Twitch chat as well has any questions, go ahead and drop them in. We're going to try and answer as many as we can. We're going to be showing, again, a lot of stuff today. So if you've got anything that comes to mind, please feel free to throw it in there. Folks on the community team are going to be keeping an eye out. But, you know, we've obviously got a chance to go ahead and dive a little deeper. We've done some telling. Let's go ahead and do some more showing by taking a bit of a deeper dive into some more marathon gameplay.
Let's do it.
Let's see. There's some more gameplay.
Marathon is a team-based extraction shooter set around the mysterious and cutthroat world of Tau Ceti 4. You are a runner, a cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, capable of both tactical and fast-paced combat. Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security forces, and otherworldly threats. To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti 4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map. Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive, and your loot can be taken into future runs as you grow in power and fill your vault.
Standard, you know,
Death,
extraction shooter practice.
but it's never the end. Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents. And in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top.
Interesting scan.
And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight.
Okay.
Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile.
As I say,
gameplay,
most of the gunplay feels like Destiny, which is awesome.
flexible builds create highly dynamic and strategic team fights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how.
I think
No matter how geared you are, players with skill and
Oh, wait.
strategy will always have the edge. Marathon is designed to be played in crews, with contextual pings, shared objectives, and down but not out, to streamline playing with your friends. Death is not the end. And if you're the last one standing, you can overcome the odds to revive your teammates and get out with your hard-earned loot. And if you believe your skills alone are
Okay.
enough to conquer any challenge, we give you the freedom to opt out of crew fill to take all the glory for yourself.
interesting.
Solo runner. No 2 runs in Marathon ever play out the same. With dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive.
Damn.
Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective. Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation? Slip into the shadows as Foy and ghost past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. Want to push enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implants and your strongest weapons to disrupt rival crews. Running support for your friends? Grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack to be the lifeline they need. You're always free to experiment with team compositions, and the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and imagination. Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more all await you in Season 1, where you and your friends will start to unravel the mysteries of Tower City 4.
Oh, seasonal. Love to see it. You love to see it.
You're only ever one run away from your next big score.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it's very different from the original Marathon. Gameplay wise, and it's probably just the players, it'll probably be way different. It looks slow, but it looks like it's uncomfortable being slow. It may just be the camera work. It may just be like, oh, this is a showcase. Like, we need to slow it down, make sure it's choreographed like well. But it looks like it wants to play really fast or faster than the speed at which it's being shown. It looks like it looks like it plays at a clunky speed. It looks uncomfortable. Interesting.
This car from this era, working on a game from this era, I love.
That's my issue. It may be an Arso thing, but it just looks like it doesn't flow. It doesn't. It looks clunky. It doesn't feel super smooth, right?
Yeah, and also
I don't know. It may be different in alpha.
Joey Wolfinder asked if this is Ben Starr. Yep, Ben Starr was the narrator of that piece. Excellent ear.
Great voice, right?
Yeah, super cool. Yeah,
Wonderful voice.
he's almost an Andrew Witz, but he does his best. But all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot with a tough one, Mr. Joe Ziegler. Who's your favorite runner?
Ooh, controversial question. I play a variety of them, but I will say probably the one I end up playing the most is Blackbird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Any Blackbird mains out there?
Oh, me, but like none of us have played it.
Runner, like it's in terms of being able to provide a lot of information, provide a lot of support. It's also a great runner that's kind of helps to counter a lot of strategies that can occur, especially ambush strategies that happen. Also to catch Void out of position if Void's trying to hide. So yeah, there's a lot of versatility to how you can play it.
Very fun, Mr. Witz. I think you and I share the same main. I got to ask as well. Who's your go-to runner?
Oh, I split my time between Locust. I'm a very push-forward kind of player, as Joe reminds me all the time, because I'm pushing too much too
You don't
often.
even have a W key. It just goes.
I just love to go fast forward. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, that push-forward gameplay that Locust kind of has, right? Being like the first to try and get a pick, seeing somebody out of position, going for that pick. Also, I like to play glitch a lot too. Again, like, I really love that disruption playstyle. I love just finding an enemy crew trying to exfil, trying to extract, and then like taking like the arm cannon and just knocking them out of like the zone, and now they're trapped with me and hopefully my teammates. Joe.
I'm scanning. I'm looking for enemies. It's good, yeah.
To that same end, actually, as you guys kind of discuss the runners, Destas in chat asks, what's the pacing targets to the gameplay? Are there any movement or traversal mechanics?
There are a lot of movement and traversal mechanics inside of the game, but it varies. Your effectiveness varies per runner.
Yeah, like everything in like we're making like a survival sandbox, which means everything kind of has to have a cost, right? And so like going, if you want to go fast, like if you want to go fast, like Locust has like a super sprint, so to speak. Like they have leg jets that kind of come on to help you sprint even faster. That causes heat. So basically, it's almost like a stamina system, but we call it heat because we're these awesome mercenary cyborgs, right? Where like the body overheats, and so this character has like some mobility, but you overheat quite a bit. So that's kind of the cost that's there, and so that's what pushes us into like finding implants that maybe like expand like how much like your heat meter, and also give you more agility, so you can even go even faster, right? So yeah, there's a lot of cost in the game in terms of when we place a mobility thing in there, we really want to make sure. It's like, how does this affect the pace, and how does this affect the overall survival sandbox?
And to be fair, we're still looking at the alpha builds. We got to balance a lot of stuff because some stuff is kind of sketchy. Yeah.
No, we have a lot to learn. That's why we're doing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, and actually, while we're talking about kind of those finer details, Witz, I'd love to still kind of bug you a little bit. In marathon build crafting is a big deal. What does that mean in the world that you guys are building?
Yeah, and so like the runners are essentially like a base, right? And so each runner has they have a bunch of implants that you can kind of find that do kind of wild things, and like as they go up in rarity, right? There's a lot of stats, so you can increase your resistance to certain things. So like tox is one, so you can essentially be poisoned, right? As our tox, and so you can build resistances to that. You can increase your agility. There's shields, obviously, to make you a bit more durable. We have cores. Cores are really cool. They basically give you like extra passives. And at the base rarity, like they have these kind of passives that you kind of play around. At the highest rarity, they are specific to the runner kit that you have, the runner you're playing. And what they do is they really augment your abilities wildly, right? So you can, you're doing one thing, and then you get like a core specifically for glitch, and now you're like, oh, my double jump is a triple jump? Like that's how much we want to kind of push that, so that gear really matters. And so builds are like completely the implants, the cores, weapons, weapon attachments. Weapons have like a pretty cool progression too. We have gold mods, which are kind of like the highest end of the attachment pool. They're essentially like exotics in our game, right? What is the exotic version of this Magnum that can do some wild stuff? So yeah, like really it's the entire package together is what the build crafting experience is in Marathon.
Super exciting. And actually, to that same end, we got a question in chat as well from, I think, Firex is how you pronounce it. How many players are going to be in each map?
Varies per map.
Yeah, it varies per map.
Got it.
The footage that people have seen a lot of, Dire Marsh, we support up to 18 players.
Okay, all right, so going to be room for a lot of play styles. To that same end, I know we talked a little bit about Void earlier.
18 players, so that's only like 6 teams.
Your play style when you're approaching any of these runs.
Sure, yeah.
Let's go ahead and sell out the best.
Assuming like all of them are full, of course. 6 3-mans.
So Void is really fun for me because it leans into this part of my personality that is like very devious. And so, if you go on a run with me, I'll be like, hey, any claymores you see, let me know. And I'm putting those in my backpack, and I'm doing crazy things like, okay, so Void has a prime ability that sends out, I think you saw it in the video, it sends like a wall of smoke that sort of like your home base when you do that. It's a portable. Because when you go in that, you become invisible. You get
Why not show this?
camo. So I'll do things like set that up to make people believe I'm doing one thing. And
Like, okay, I believe in you in talking, but like, why not give us a little bit of show of this, right? We want to see what's in store here.
But I also do things like I'll go to a place in the zone where there's high tier loot, and I'll claymore it up, and then close all the doors and leave, and be like, I wonder if anyone's gonna show up. And then sure enough, maybe 5 minutes later, I see the shield crack in the HUD, and I'm like, yes, I can go back and see what's going on. So yeah, that's how I like to play.
Yeah. How about you, Joe Cross? What's your go-to?
Well, if you know me, I'd rather look good and lose. So
True Destiny player at heart.
Pick the runner with the coolest helmet, and in this lineup, I think that's clearly Blackbird. As
Very
for
nice
play
helmet.
Style, I'm typically just a decoy. So
It's like, Joe, go over there. Yeah,
Damn, man, have a little more self-confidence.
exactly. Just stand in the open for a little bit. Yeah.
so that's the end of my run story.
Fair. Well, we want to thank you all for your collective sacrifice. We appreciate it. So actually, to that same end, obviously we do a lot of play testing here internally. Witz, I know you mentioned you've got a folder of some of your best plays, but what are some of your most memorable runs so far?
Some of my memorable runs are really when I think I'm going to be doing one thing, right? Like, okay, I'm going to do a contract. I'm going to be going here. I got to go into this room. Got to interact with this device. And I think it's like I'm safe. Like I'm kind of doing like a routine thing. I can get in and get out if I'm like smart about it and really kind of listen for what's going on. Like there's no UESC around. There's no players around. And oftentimes there's another player. Like the best moments is there's another crew that are going for the exact same thing. And there's this moment of like you're about to turn the key to get into a locked room, and then the other team is right there, and you're like, oh crap! Like, and then you're like, this is all-out war in like a hallway that seems to be like a regular hallway, but now it's just like it just gets crazy. And so I think those are the peaks that happen where there's these tense moments where you're trying to do something that lead to these very quick crescendos where these mercenaries kind of going crazy. In other way, like all these players are jumping.
You make it sound like you're playing so carefully, but you're not.
Listen, the tactics are happening fast.
Yeah, okay.
They're
You're just processing fast.
Like, yeah, the math is going. Like it's happening.
It's improvisational, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like, I mean, runs can obviously entail a lot, but we also have a question from Sharky218. Is loot going to be just weapons, or is there going to be more for people to go after while they're out there in tough settings?
It's a good question.
There's a ton of
There's
there's a ton of
loot,
yeah. There's implants, there's cores, there's equipment, there's
All sorts of stuff.
consumables, yeah,
Talk about grenades.
yeah. There's grenades.
I mean,
We have a bunch of different types of grenades in the game as well that you can loot in the world. We have valuables, we have backpacks, attachments, weapons, materials, keys.
and there's a bunch of stuff too that we're just we call valuables, but like there's times when you're running low on money and you're like, I just need to do a valuables run right now, and I need to pick up these things and get my money, into my space bank. So
Right.
Space Bank.
Right.
That actually is a good segue.
Tarkov style kind of.
Asks, what do I do with the loot when I extract? Like, why does it matter in the long run?
It's a good question.
Yeah, there's
I think you get to keep some of it.
a lot of it is related to sort of our factions and contract system.
Okay.
Want to talk a little bit about the larger?
yeah,
This feels a lot like Space
entire
Tarkov.
system,
Like a lot.
Factions. You're doing contracts. They're like missions, and you are being greeted originally by AI representative because you are a mercenary. You don't really have allegiance to anyone. They are going to pay you to do these jobs, and so they'll give you these missions to do. And as you're doing these missions, like Andrew said, sometimes you run into danger. But the cool thing about, I think, a lot of the faction and the contract system is like you could complete download the agricultural survey from this one area on one of the zones, and you're doing the thing, and you've sort of done it. So even if you die, you've still made progress there, which I think is a really cool aspect of that feature. But then
Okay.
there's also this other meta layer where as you're working with the different factions, they allow you to upgrade yourself over time, and so you can increase your heat meter, you can increase your loot speed. Things like
Right. Yeah.
I was gonna say you're trying to get as much loot as possible to meet the challenge of the world, right? Like essentially, different missions get harder over time, right? Which means you want to have more loot on you so you can survive longer. So just in general, be able to do fight all the different hostile entities in the world. Like get through there's a POI on a zone that's heavily fortified by UESC, and all of the different units that are there, the snipers, the assault units. Like
Okay.
you want to be able to not only withstand that and
Be able to kind of take it on. Right.
And honestly, like a lot of the loot translates into things like upgrades, that you utilize through the factions. But there's also an in-game store called the Black Market where you can use a lot of your currency and things like that to actually re-equip yourself if you go on a battle run. Or
That's
upgrade
fucking Tarkov.
from that space. So
I mean, it's comparing apples to apples, right?
I don't think I'm ever short of reasons to get loot.
That just says
I mean, it's also just like the game. Like that's the point.
Can be seen as kind of hardcore, maybe tough to get into. What are some of the things that you guys are doing to make them easier to dive into?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that we could talk about. One is we are obviously investing besides doing a little bit more onboarding in the front end so players can understand a little bit about what the nature of the game mode is.
Okay.
We're also doing a lot to make combat something that's a little bit more approachable, but also just equally as deep and have pretty wide things. But I think Andrew could talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, we want to make this is like a Bungie shooter, right? We want to make sure it's approachable. We nail those fantasies. Every button press feels awesome, right? And so really trying to bring that kind of morph the Bungie action game into in the survival space where again everything kind of costs something, right? Getting shot, you're not going to have a limb system where your limb's broken or anything, but you will guns do stopping power, right? Which they can knock you out of sprint, they can slow you down.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Status effects are still in the game, and so if you are hit with a chem grenade, right, you're gonna be toxed. You can be immobilized, right, which really slows you down. You can be overheated. There's all these things, and that pushes you into using consumables and making sure you have an answer for these things that happen. So we're trying to make sure that you keep the depth of the survival game, but the approachability of the action game, right? And so that's how we're trying to marry that together. In addition to that, if you have some bad runs, right, and you don't have a lot of, you see your loot kind of going down, we have the sponsored kits, it's kind of talking in the video earlier, where it's a package of gameplay items like weapons or equipment or maybe a shield or something or consumables. That's kind of the floor for what we think you can be really you can be capable in the environment and actually fight other players that actually are kitted out. So you're never feeling where the goal is that you can always clutch even if you find somebody who's completed, kitted out in like really high-end gear, because that's your payday, right? That's like the beauty of the moment. Like, oh my god, I took this player, and oh, they have the best shield in the game. Hell yeah.
Right.
Obviously, maybe a lot of good
Yeah,
players
okay.
taking notes for when they get a chance to get into the alpha. But we'd be remiss if we also didn't mention how
Hi,
a big
buddy.
part of what we do here at Bungie is working alongside our community, which is why we've also had the chance since about 2022 to work with hundreds of different creators in our community as well, to go ahead and get some of their feedback. So to those of you out there that have joined us, thank you very much for your time and your opinions. They mean a lot. But no need to listen to me talk about it. We actually just last week had a bunch of folks in here to go ahead and play test the very same alpha build that some of you had a chance to join in on as well. So I vote I go ahead and let you tell them about it in their own words.
Thank you. Now, yeah, this is what I really wanted to see. Hey. All right, buddy, relax.
This is a different take on an extraction shooter.
Is it though?
It's game changing. It is literally game changing.
Is that fucking Scarrow?
This is such an exciting time for us. You are the first group outside of Bungie to playtest our alpha build.
That is fucking Scarrow 99. Yep. Oh my god, and CB Gray was there too. Ooh, okay. Okay. Suddenly much more interesting to me.
Look daddy up. Let's go. Okay. I am ready and up.
That is Scarrow.
Yes, sir.
That is Lupo. Okay. So yeah, they brought in a lot of people from like the Destiny community. Dire Marsh. All right. Oh wow.
You just want to grab that real quick? Yeah.
Okay.
Get going.
Let's see, put together map. This okay. Now watching the actual gameplay, it moves a lot faster than was shown off. So my immediate area of like not looking like it comfortably has a comfortable speed, it seems to have that. It just wasn't showcased that well.
I may have just exploded my kneecaps. If you dash right before you hit the ground, don't take safe damage.
Oh really? So movement tech, cool. I love to see movement.
Yeah, more AI inside the little shrubbery compound over there.
A hostile unit is calling for reinforcements.
Right. And, you know, it's extraction, so there's going to be a mix of, like, NPC shit and players to, you know, kill. Especially when you go to loot stuff, like, there's going to be a lot of NPCs, and then you fight between both, right?
Oh, I got AI over here like
God damn.
AI with a snipe up above. It's looking at me.
I need some bench ammo. Guys, pardon me. There's a green punk right there.
What the hell is that?
Ticks underneath.
They seem to be using, like, a ton of Lupo, of, like, this squad's footage. It must have been, like, really good. Oh, this is a fucking player squad. That looks like a player squad. That is a player squad. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Come on, buddy. Come on.
That's a purple one.
Nice. The gameplay so far looks very smooth. It looks very smooth. The gunplay looks great.
The grenadiers, yeah. They're freaking great.
Nice.
What do you have on your little guy?
Oh, one of the guys you killed had just been weapons on him. Poor guy.
Signal loss.
Oh, mechanics hit.
That's what we need, right? Maybe
Yeah,
some
yeah.
just mechanical static effect.
I'm using it.
Approaching active data.
Nice. This fucking like double barrel shotgun thing looks cool.
When you have the mechanics kit, it doesn't take anything. You're just good. Yeah. I'm unlocking the box. Yeah, dropping in big ones.
It seems like they've been like, by the time that they actually got the footage of this, they've been playing for like hours. Not so that they're low energy, but they're just very locked in and very understanding of what they're doing.
Long shots in 2.
That's a player.
Yeah. That's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Ooh, good shot.
There's a loose up there. Huge, absolute. Oh my god, I'm almost dead. I realised.
Kind of an Apex style like healing system, it feels like. Good shot. Holy fuck, I didn't even see him.
Nice.
Wow. Well played. Wow. Wow. That was really well thought out. Well played. That's unfortunate. Scarrow fucking looks behind him. That's so funny.
Don't underestimate this guy.
Oh my god, that's it.
Get the res here? Might be hiding his body.
Ben, you knocked one, I knocked another.
Oh my god, okay, never mind. There's somebody literally just sitting there. Camping body, okay. Nice.
I literally only have a sniper.
Got the res. That's just AI.
Signaling for reinforcements.
Okay, the knock I had was way over here. I don't see anybody over there yet.
He's been quiet for an awful long time. I reckon he's gone to res.
Probably. Ooh, yup.
Right there, he's right there.
You looked right at him.
Tell me if they red. That's a guy. Yeah, he's holding the angle at a distance.
Sniped a sniper.
Oh, yeah, right on me. This player. I mean, very weak up there. I'm underneath.
Are they where we got down?
Knocked one.
Just walked right by him. Nice elim.
No, if they're close. I got no tags.
The knock system on this, I actually look, you don't mind.
You got eyes? Yeah, A1. Oh, is that him up there?
A call out for pings as well, so you can make like multiple and then like be specific about it. That's cool. I like that. Allows you to communicate more effectively. Really cool. Dude, this shield thing looks so insane. Like, I don't know if it's going to be tweaked in, like, when the game actually comes out, but this shield ability looks nuts.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
They built God squads, you could say. I feel like we might be the God squad.
That was good. That was a good run.
We got knifed some AI and grabbed some guns.
Jesse Kazan.
We can go to.
I don't know these two people so far.
We got a loot container key. Isn't there one of those around here?
Who's the
Yeah,
third?
right here.
Nice.
Where did I just hear that thought? I knifed one.
Okay, so this is like the squad of like people who are really new, and that's okay. This is actually fine for a showcase. Kind of gives like, here's what it looks like for people who aren't so like accustomed to shooters. Like we just saw Scarrow and fucking Lupo and whoever else just like roll through the game or roll through people, right? Oh my god.
Yeah. Something sucked.
You getting fucking sucked? That's funny.
Purple shield.
It's purple, and you guys are not kitted at all for this. It doesn't seem like anyway.
I found a purple enemy heavy knifed it 4 times and had to dump a full mag into it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's tough. The different color for like shielding is very cool. And one thing I was really worried about is like with this game is that because everything has like no texture to it, right? Because that's the style they wanted. No texture meaning like everything kind of looks the same, but actually the opposite. Like because there's so little texture and all of the identification is on color and making things look very vibrant, it's really easy to differentiate shit. It's super easy. It's really cool. It's actually a really nice look. I like it a lot. It looks very unpolished, like polished but unfinished, and it's very cool, very abstract. I like it. I like it. It's a good look. Crack. Nice. This invis was cool. Oh my god, you got played. Good shot. That feels more like a Halo sniper meets like a... It feels like the Halo sniper more than like a Destiny sniper, and I'm okay with that. More like a Halo sniper. Which I guess they feel very similar.
Glitch is moving. Glitch is moving. Behind. Yeah, Glitch is behind
Shit.
at the moment. White shield. White shield.
Oh, she's scared. She's scared.
Well, yeah, she's on her own.
Down. Down.
Nice. I don't know how useful Glitch will be.
Very, very nice.
Like, I know her thing is like go fast, but it doesn't feel like it fits. You know what I mean? This game's not slow at all either. I thought like the time to kill was gonna be really slow. It's not that slow. I think it's much slower than like maybe Tarkov or like other extraction shooters. Like Hunt Showdown has a really
That's like really high value. You're like, I have to get this out.
Doesn't matter if I'm playing Lucas or Void or Glitch. If I've got a better
Hold on.
I'm gonna win. There's no other extraction shooter like that where I can have that kind of gameplay.
When people find out about some of the secrets and stuff, they are going to lose their mind.
Playing so far has just been refreshing, I'd like to say.
really
Everything felt really locked in.
every like gameplay aspect mechanically feels very tight. And not like in a bad way. It just looks very solid. Looks very well put together. Well constructed. September 23rd. Oh, actually, relatively close. Wow. I'm impressed. You did well, Bungie. It looks good. It looks good.
It's been a great time getting to set that up, and of course, I promise I'm not saying this just because I work on the social media team here, but we have a 20-minute version of that. So youtube.com @marathonthegame is where to find us. Also, same with all of our other socials, as long as I'm at it.
Yeah, it looks good.
But Lars, obviously, again, like we talked about before that video, we're familiar with working with our community really closely, but have we ever done it this early or at this scale before?
So I've been at Bungie for a while now, since the Halo 3 days, and I think the thing, even since my time, we've been really good about is working with players, working with the community. It's something we take pride in. And on this game in particular, yeah, we brought people in, players in, much earlier into the process than I think we ever have before, and it's given us really good insight. You know, we tell them when they show up, be brutally honest, because that's how we learn.
That's how they. That's yeah. Okay.
Understand what needs to change, what needs to get better, and I think it's been really great.
Awesome.
I mean, even again, like these folks were all here last week. You guys were in there with some of you playing as well. What was it like?
Oh, it's super exciting. Yeah.
It looks fun. And I'm not crazy on extraction shooters. It looks fun.
Engaged with for a long time, and some players who were brand new, and it was great to see sort of like the mix of the both. Especially when you got to some higher level skilled players who just joined in and immediately got it and started destroying everybody, like Tens and Lupo was in there. And,
Yeah, I was gonna say Lupo fucking rolled everybody.
You had some pretty awesome moments, didn't you?
Yeah, so it was pretty amazing to jump in, and I'm gonna throw Nick under the bus for a moment here. Like, apparently he was on the team with Brian and Jeff Keighley, and they were not having success. Y'all were like destroying them,
Clearly
the
Nick was the
creators. And,
problem.
yeah, it's probably your team that was destroying them. So I was brought in as like a hired gun to help get Jeff through, and
Thank you.
I did my job.
Nice.
Which also though you were saying you were observing a little bit as well, maybe not playing quite as much. What was it like, from your perspective, getting to see all these folks jump in and play the game for the first time? Some of them.
I mean, it was awesome. It's awesome like playing the game for so long, right, and seeing other people play the game is just a great feeling, right, for like the whole team. You get to see things that you designed for happen, and in real life, right, you see people who are like being hunted by other players that take refuge by like we're a heavily fortified area, and watching the UESC equalize a little bit. Moments like that was great. There was another fight that was like it looked so fun, but also hilarious, but also like really like it was like a great time, but also really tense. There was two crews that were fighting under the dire marsh map. There's a bunch of tunnels and stuff like that, and they were fighting in the tunnels. And the fight was literally like almost 1 by 1s, like 3 and 3, like constantly moving towards each other and fighting in the hallway. The person in the front dropping meds for people in the back and changing positions.
Oh, wow.
Into like little vents as well. So
Like super structured and okay, cool. Wow.
It was super tense because you didn't know exactly whether you were going to get third party, and they were just the
Yeah.
in the room kept on going up from those two crews because they were just like, where are they going to get flanked? There's another vent right there that could pop up from there, and they were shooting vents just like out of just pure paranoia. It was awesome to watch.
That's awesome.
It's a good balance to strike, obviously. Yeah. And you again, we were mentioning you got to play. Were there any other creators you got to dive in with?
Yeah, I was on a team with Ray and Katamina. And
Okay.
We had a lot of fun. There was like a couple moments where we bunkered down underneath a greenhouse in the tunnels. The tunnels are dangerous and they're fun. But we basically created like a little claymore nest down there, and so we were baiting them down.
Oh shit.
And yeah, it was pretty successful. I'm telling you, the claymore strats are good. Yeah. Don't sleep on claymores. They're
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Lars is like, I know.
Yeah.
So even in addition to these creators, the legacy of Marathon's community goes so far rather. As someone who's played a lot of Aleph 1 in the past as well myself, back on my Titanium G4 PowerBook so long ago, the Aleph 1 team was really, really exciting. You guys got a chance to work with them as well, isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting to sort of connect to the heritage of Marathon, right? Like to keep that alive as we're sort of building this new world. And so working with the Aleph 1 team was really awesome. With the Marathon Classic on Steam is the release that they had, as well as the Marathon Classic 2, I think, is on Steam as well. Yeah. But yeah, both of those, it's like sort of connecting the threads, if that makes sense, Sort of remembering the past as we're sort of building this new, re-envisioning in a lot of ways of what Marathon is.
Yeah. It's definitely re-envisioned.
About the dangers of the world. We do have a question from Twitch chat. Are there dangerous PvE encounters? Obviously, you've mentioned that the UESC is out there, and you should underestimate them at your own peril. But can you tell us a little bit more about maybe some of those emergent threats that await players?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the UESC security units that are out there. There's a bunch of different types that do different things. So watch out for them. We also have ticks, which are these.
I saw those.
Surprising, explodey fauna. Yeah, they run at you.
They look like Titanfall ticks.
To explode on you, and you have to shoot the nests actually to get rid of them essentially. Otherwise, they'll keep coming. And there's a bunch of hazards and stuff that are like going to be on the map as well. Like we have a bunch of like tox rooms and all kinds of surprises that await players. And
cool.
Yeah, in the alpha, there's a few, but
what's the scariest UESC unit to you?
The scariest unit? The Ghost Commander, for sure. The Ghost Commander, their ability is like they go into active camo and they actually have clone. They have a bunch of like clones that go out there, so you're not sure which one to shoot, and then by the time you recognize which one is actually the real one, right? It might be over for you, but that's one. The sniper also, love the sniper as well. We really want to have these prolonged sniper fights that are really great against the UESC, and if you manage to really push them and they notice you're pushing, they'll punish you for that too. So
one thing I'm really curious about, where this is an extraction shooter, right, and you have a sizable map and a sniper, is it drop or is it all hit scan?
Purposely making them these formidable foes that
because it makes a big difference. It really does.
And they're guarding it, and they're doing a pretty damn good job.
You can't ignore them either. Once they're on your set, you kind of got it.
Because if it's all hit scan, then the sniper is like immediately probably the best weapon in the game. Right. But if it's drop, then okay, like suddenly we have to kind of like, are we really like, it's still probably really good, but it now requires much more. You know what I mean?
Or you can diversify a little bit, and sort of try to use each other's utilities. But
because drop's hard. Drop's like a hard thing to do. If you're good at drop, it's a skill, right?
You may never know. Like those three different like players that are playing Blackbird, they may have very different builds and what they're gearing towards in Blackbird, right?
The build thing is really cool. I think that's a really good way to keep sort of like the individualness of an extraction shooter with a class system. You know what I mean? So you have this class, and then you can sort of build into some part of it. That's very cool. Very cool. What I'm afraid of is metas. Honestly, I feel like metas for this kind of thing will just wreck it, man.
So, you know, again, obviously it's been so much fun to hear you guys even talking about this game and the experiences you've had. You've been building a world that's really ripe for players.
That's kind of like the hard part about build crafting is like you have build crafting and then like players find like one meta and it's like the best shit ever and then nobody uses anything else.
So many. I mean, there's so many different stories that I think are gonna.
Right, like it happens in Destiny, it happens in Diablo. You know, like I love build crafting to death, but that's like the biggest kind of struggle with it. How do you break up a meta? You know.
That exist there, the dying. You know, when our trail says death, it's death. You know.
But rather, instead of trying to break up the meta, how do you keep the meta from forming? Right. How do you reward players for building their own thing rather than following what looks best according to everybody else?
I mean, I'm you know, had the fortune to launch Destiny and now Marathon. It's always amazing to put something out into the world that you've been working on, you know, sort of in a bubble for 6 years or something like that, and have the players experience the visual world for the first time is amazing. Introducing the IP into the world, you know, sort of beyond the game. You know, sort of the culture it creates. Always excited to see like what the fans tell us what the game is and what the metas are and what the IP is, and so that exchange is always amazing.
Yeah, check out the Discord. It's getting wild in there right now.
Yeah, the Discord's down. I just looked at that not too long ago. The Discord, as far as I'm aware, it's still down. Oh no, okay, it's back up now.
We've been making this meal for a bit. It's just time to see folks play, right? Like we've been making the sandbox for a bit. We've been working together on all the activities and everything in the world, right? It's just going to be exciting to see people react to it organically and learn from it.
I'm also curious to see which runner will be the crowd favorite. Yeah. Out of the. I have theories.
I know you have many theories.
Yeah.
Well, chat, Discord, let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys are thinking.
Absolutely.
But that brings us to just about the conclusion of what's been a very action-packed show. So for starters, guys, thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank everybody out there. Like our team is literally sitting behind these cameras here, and they're amazing. Like, you know, you should give yourselves a hand, you know, for putting together.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Also, there's an immense amount of staff here that has been super gracious and kind to come and help work with us on this. So, just want to make sure all of you, let's give you a hand too. You know, you've been doing an amazing job.
That's right. So again, as we noted at the top of the show, coming up at the very, very end, we've got a very special surprise. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and stick around all the way through till the end.
So we're going to stay here.
But again, a huge thanks to Joe Ziegler, Joe Cross, Andrew Witz, and Lars Bakken. Thank you all for being here today. And of course, again, to echo Ziegler, thank you so much to the entire dev team here at Bungie. Thank you so much for being here today. Whether you're here with us in person or you're at home, it's your contributions that make Marathon possible. So truly, thank you. It's honestly humbling to be here today. And again, of course, the crew here, thank you all so much for all of your hard work. It's been incredible seeing this stage come up so quickly rather. So thank you so much. It's been a gargantuan effort, and it's all thanks to your efforts. And most importantly, again, to all of you fine folks out there for joining us today. It's such a privilege for us to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on.
I wonder why this is a thing that's happening.
You have busy days, and we're thankful to be a part of it. So thank you for joining us here on this Saturday morning. And of course, we got something fun at the end. Make sure you stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating Scarrow and Mr. Raffle Waffles, Milo, out there here just after the show ends. So go ahead.
That's right. I forgot Mr. Raffle Waffles kind of came back a little bit for Destiny stuff. That's cool. I forgot he did that.
One more special thing here for you at the end.
Thank you.
We've told you a lot about the game so far, but we haven't had a chance to really touch on the narrative just yet. And we're really excited to build a story that's innovative in the extraction shooter space, both in and out of the game. And we'd love to show you a glimpse of that now. So we've had the opportunity to partner with Academy and Emmy Award-winning director Alberto Mielgo to go ahead and show you just a bit of a snapshot of what life is like on Tau Ceti. So we hope you enjoy, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Cool. Cool, cool. All right, what's this? Oh. Holy shit. What the fuck?
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it sculptor well those passions red which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless thing that mocked them. And the heart that fed, and the heart that
This game's style is so fucking cool. It's so odd. It's so weird. It's almost kind of creepy. It's so fucking well done. Holy shit. Man, it acts like that in game. It's so cool. Uh-huh.
What's that you always tune into? Worth anything?
I don't know, but I like it. It speaks to me.
Let me listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever wonder what happened to these people? fine this music is. You'll have a tough time finding a buyer.
Good. It's not for sale. Give it to me.
Jesus. Damn. Fucking brutal. Holy shit. Wow. I was not ready for that.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain. Round the decayed colossal wreck. Boundless and bare. Alone and level sand. Stretch far away.
Do you recognize this child?
I don't know. Is that me?
There's a lot of character in Oh, these are credits. Okay. Just sign up for Alpha, join Discord. Wow. Okay. So there it is. Yeah. I'm definitely going to be registering for the alpha. I got to be honest, I was really skeptical about how this was going to look. I can't, and I know I have to be careful, okay, with getting my hopes up, because Bungie does it every time. They are so good at advertising their stuff. They're so good at it. They did for Final Shape, where we all got super hyped over the trailer, right? And granted, Final Shape was amazing, but, you know, it's still, Bungie still had its issues. Every single time Bungie does advertisement, it always gets us so, they're so good at it. They're so good at it. This game, judging off the gameplay, looks off of the live gameplay that they showed us, right? Which, granted, I was sandboxed, right? It looks good. It looks really good. Maybe not like Game of the Year style good, but I'm not the biggest like extraction shooter player, and I will play this. I will definitely play this. It looks fun. It looks interesting. It's unique, and it looks like it flows and plays very well. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this. So, yeah, let's finish up the registration. The registration's in the Marathon Discord. You can go look it up. I have to adjust it. I have to adjust my Discord username. If you have like a period or a underscore in your username, don't or you're gonna have to change it because it's not gonna work. Oh, wow. Man, this is blowing up. Like, the bot is completely overwhelmed. Wow. All right, chat. Well, it was a good stream. Yeah, it was a really good stream. We're going to move on. Hopefully we can get into Marathon, and maybe I'll be on tomorrow. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Just be on the lookout. So, see ya.